This is 911. This is created by Ryan Murphy, who has had quite a checkered past on this podcast. I would say that there is a real hit and miss feeling with his shows. None of us have liked American Horror Story. Did any of us like Glee? I don't think we did.
I liked the first season of Glee. I watched the first 2 seasons, but it became like too much of a big thing, if you know what I mean. It believed in its own hype.
I suppose really the biggest thing that's come out of Glee is the fact that the lead actor died, wasn't it? Really, and really that's been the most...
Two of the lead actors died.
Did they?
One of them who was in prison for like child porn.
Yeah, him as well. Gosh, you're right.
God, we did have run the gamut on this podcast.
But yeah, I mean, Glee I liked originally, but as I say, I think it brought into its own hype. It's not that I don't like American Horror Story. I've never been sort of compelled to watch.
And then the other side of that is you've had things like Feud, which Matt really liked, American Crime Story.
Yeah, but to be fair, the only American Crime Story, there's only been 2, but the one I liked was the one that Ryan Murphy's name was on, but he wasn't really involved in.
How did we feel about Nip Tuck?
I liked the idea of it. I didn't like it.
I hate it when he says this.
No. But I think the original premise of the show of them being these kind of like the kind of amoral and moral person, and I thought that Australian guy, is it Julian something, was a very good actor at the time.
One of my favourite Ryan Murphy ones was something called Popular. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
I remember that.
It showed on Channel 5 over here.
Yes, I remember
It was
that.
sort of like a proto... Yeah. Almost like a proto-Glee without the singing. It was like a high school thing. And one everyone forgets about because it didn't last very long, The New Normal.
I know the title of that, but I don't remember the premise.
It was about surrogacy parents.
And if I could just go back to Luke's egotistic, I liked the American Crime Story about O.J. Simpson. It's not all about you.
No, you, Gary, you liked it.
Yeah, I'm saying Luke suddenly jumped in and went, well, I didn't like the American Crime Story.
I said the only one I liked was the one where Ryan Murphy wasn't involved.
So of the 2, you liked one.
The one that wasn't Ryan Murphy
was 50%. Anyway, so I think we've established there's a fair bit of mix about Ryan Murphy. Wow.
What are we talking about?
911.
911, what's your emergency?
You know why they make us wear these uniforms?
Sex appeal.
True. But it's also for our own good. Because when we take the uniform off at the end of the day, it symbolizes letting go of all the crazy things we've seen that day.
No, I love this job because sure, I get to be the tough guy, but I also get to help people.
911, what's your emergency? It takes a certain kind of person to run towards danger rather than run away from it. And for those of us that choose this life, there's no place we'd rather be.
How come I'm not dead?
Because you are the luckiest son of a bitch and the unluckiest son of a bitch on the face of the earth.
I think you could certainly say that this centres around 3 main characters. The first of which is Connie Britton's Abby Clark, who plays a first responder 911 telephonist. So,
oh my God, that's if you've got that on your podcast card, take telephonist off.
I'm getting names right. I'm being prepared.
She's a first responder. She's not.
That's my job.
Well, a telephonist makes it sound like she's just taking calls.
She's a 911 operator.
Yes,
Thank
there
you.
you go.
Of these 3 main characters, you get a little bit of their side backstory, and hers is that she has. What? What's so funny?
Carry on, Gary. Carry on.
Just side backstory, maybe.
You said side back, and it made me.
Whatever.
Carry on.
Her story is that she has an elderly mother who has dementia, and she cares for her as well as doing this job. Then you have the excellent Peter Krause playing Senior Fire Officer Bobby Nash. He is a former alcoholic who goes to see a priest every week. He finds that helpful. And he's kind of like very much the father figure of a very mixed group of firefighters. You have a real mix of ethnicities and backgrounds. Then you get the police officer played by Angela Bassett, Athena Grant. Her sort of side story is that her husband has just revealed that he's gay and has always been gay. and even though they've been married and have 2 teenage children, but you
They're
only
not
get
teenagers, are they?
Well, one was a teenage girl, the other might have been about a 9-year-old boy, whatever. Minutia has been...
I missed doing this.
Right, getting no credit for this. I'm going to go back to vague. So-and-so is on this, and they were in a thing before. Right? I'm trying something new for the autumn.
What, having the cast list up?
Shut up. The premise of the show is that you start by seeing Connie Britton's character taking the first phone call.
Or hearing her voice.
You get to then step into the actual live scene with the firefighters and the police. So you have 2 or 3 main cases a week. In this episode, you had someone who had managed to flush a baby down the loo and it got stuck in a pipe. You also had a robbery that turned into a kidnapping of a young child. It drew me in by the end of the episode. I think at the start I was like, this looks horribly generic. I don't quite understand how these things fit in. You know, Connie Britton's story was quite interesting, how she said, my involvement in the cases ends as soon as the person on the other end clicks the phone. You know, I kind of thought maybe that some of the scenes might have been more sort of dreamlike, you know, her imagining what the scene would be because her point ends. And then you got into the kind of like the police bit as well, which added a different element. By the end, I would say this was above average. I quite liked it, and I'm intrigued to watch another one. And Connie Britton, despite not really being featured throughout the whole episode, I mean, she was great in Nashville, she was great in Friday Night Lights. She is an engaging character, actress, and Peter Krause is great.
It's escapist fun. That's what it is. It's not to be taken seriously. I think if you try and take it seriously and view it as a gritty drama about these first responders, then you're going to be disappointed. It's just escapist fun. It's fluff. It's light. I agree completely with you about Connie Britton. I loved her in Friday Night Lights, and I think I will watch her do anything. And she does have this way of bringing you into the world quite well of whoever she plays. But I was drawn in, but probably not enough to stick with it, because I know the scenarios that they find themselves in. This is all aired, by the way, in the States, so I'm sort of aware that the scenarios they find themselves in later on in the season get more and more bonkers. It's almost like Casualty on the BBC, where it's escapist fun, not to be taken seriously. It knows what it is and it goes for it, and I'm just not really one for escapist fun. It's not the kind of thing I latch on to.
I didn't know the sort of the tone it was going for, because it didn't seem to be going for a sort of a campy tone, like a fun. It was trying to be serious, I thought. Anyway, there wasn't, apart from the bit with the snake, there didn't seem to be any particular comic moments. You know, everyone had quite a stony face on them. It was very humorless, really, I found. I mean, I like Angela Bassett, but I feel that the story that she's in is a bit far-fetched. They're all very sort of, you know,
nobody's trying very hard, are they?
Nobody's trying very hard. And I read that they're already been renewed for a second, longer season with Jennifer Love Hewitt joining the cast.
I mean, if that's not going to perk it up, I don't know what will.
I suppose this is one of those have it on in the background shows. I think was that what you were meaning by that?
Well, I think really it's background noise, and it's what it is. When I say escapist fun, what I mean is it switch your brain off TV.
Yeah, I agree with that. I could watch this whilst twittering. I could watch this while having me dinner, and it wouldn't be a problem.
You're not going to get massive character development because it's going to focus more on the zanier, you know, the emergency, the better. I think is what
these shows do very well because of the fact that don't require a huge amount of attention. There's an audience out there that doesn't want to sit and have to analyse every scene and think about every plot twist.
It's on Fox in the US, so their standard of drama isn't my cup of tea anyway. 911 is on Wednesday nights on Sky Witness. You can read a review that's on the website now. thecustardtv.com is where you'll find it.